Recording in progress.
Awesome. Well, with that, I think we can get started, guys. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Let's see on this September day. First up is minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look over those minutes from July? I think it was. Did we have any adjustments we wanted to make? That I noticed.
I move we approve the minutes.
Second. Great. All right, minutes are approved. Thanks, guys. And then staff reports.
I have a couple of things. The first one is just most of you may already know, but Ramsey has resigned. She's just not working with her work schedule. She really hummed and hawed and had a hard time making a decision, but she is no longer with us on this board.
Sorry. I'm just glad. So there's a new position. Is that two?
So now we have two open
Two, okay.
positions. Yeah, the city commission did just put out an announcement. They do it. I don't know how often she does it. Seems like it's pretty often for like all the city boards, and she always names each committee that has openings. So. On October 17th, hopefully you guys received an email about the next board training. We were told that it went out to all members, and that if you remember that needs the training, that you were told that you need it. So hopefully, yeah, did everybody get that information?
Because I swear I did mine.
It did say at the bottom, like if that, because I did mine too, and it said like you've already done this, but you can still go get it.
If you it stated something different.
Oh, did it? Yeah, mine was like.
I was all confused. I was like, are you sure not?
I think you have to do it once a year. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not like a one time and you're done. It's a recurring thing. So that might be why. But if you think it's wrong, just reply to the email to Alex and maybe tell her like, oh, I went to this one, like the previous one or something. But anyway, it's from 5:30 to 7:30, and this time it's in this building in the commission chambers. The October admin meeting, so that's when we do our report. That I know you guys are going to look at your draft today, but so the two options for the October meeting is October 16th or the 30th. I recommend let's do the 30th if that works for people for two reasons. One, October 16th is our regular meeting, so we'd have to either change that or skip it. And also because I am gonna see if you can add something to your report, which would be the percent for art, which we can talk about when we get to that. Awesome. But so I didn't know if that would mean in October you have to look at it one more time, or if you would just make a decision tonight. I didn't want to put that pressure on you, but putting it out to 30th gives you another meeting before presenting. Sure, that's up to you guys, but I wanted to put it out there. And then the other two things I have are project related for this year's project. So the band shell. Right now, tentatively, I'm looking to put out the call for artists in November through December, with an install by the end of June, with a plan to review the RFP with you guys at the October meeting, if that October meeting happens, of course.
And like review the RFP before it goes out. Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Yep. And then that will put us pretty much in the same timeline that we did with the other two murals. And then the traffic signal boxes, a call for artists in January, with the install by the end of June. So not a super detailed schedule, but just a little hang on those time frames. So the only thing I really need from you guys is what day you want me to try to shoot for that October admin meeting with the commission.
Yeah, Max, for your schedule.
I can do either one. I like your idea. I think an extra meeting prep time is always smart, and then we don't have to rearrange our schedule for it.
Right.
I'm for the 30th.
For the 30th.
Okay, so I'll put that request, and it's always at the hands of the city manager who moves things around. So we'll shoot for that. I am on vacation that day, but it's okay. I don't need to be there for anything.
You'll be with us in spirit.
I'll be in spirit.
or hopefully not. Doing something much more fun than we are.
That usually start at 5:30 as well.
No, it actually starts at 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And usually for that, I believe it's just where maybe one or two of us present, but I think all committee members are probably welcome as
Oh,
well.
of course, yes. Yeah. That's all I have.
Awesome. I do have a question that came up just from like the board vacancies when I was trying to recruit folks. But I had someone ask the question that if they wanted to join this committee, but then they wanted to apply for one of the call for artists, do we have any idea what that would maybe look like? Would they just not be able to participate like in the jury selection process? Or yeah, this might be something we've never dealt with before, but it
Right.
was just a question that came up.
No, it wouldn't, they would still be able to apply.
Mhm.
They just wouldn't be, like you just said, they just wouldn't be included in the process.
Okay, that's good to know, because yeah, I have some folks around town who are interested, but didn't want to like then preclude them from looking at opportunities too, so, right. Cool. Yeah, and I guess I had another question too, just about the percent for art letter, but maybe that's something we can just talk about during the annual report section.
Whenever you want, now or then, I don't,
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
wondering if that had been sent to like an admin meeting yet, or,
it's not set to an admin meeting, and this is, so my recommendation is that you put it in your annual report and address it there. They have received the letter. Only one commissioner actually gave a reply, and their reply was that they would like to hear more about it, but that's not a consensus to put it on an admin meeting. The other option, there's two ways to get something in an admin meeting, either a consensus from the commission or the city manager, because it's the city manager's agenda. The last thing that the city manager had stated was that he didn't have an appetite for this right now. So your best bet is to, in my mind, and I talked with the clerk of the commission literally today about this, and this was what we thought was gonna be the best thing for you, especially since it's just right now, it's already October, was to just, you've got the forum right there, so just put it out there.
okay.
And they do have the letter, like they have the letter, they've read the letter. Well, I assume they've read the letter, can't think that is. But, and you could include that letter with your annual report, so it's in front of them again, and that's, and then it's public, and then do your pitch on it at your annual presentation, because it is a recommendation still.
Yeah, I think that works. Thank you for that
Okay. Maybe
feedback.
that means you have to update your thing,
Okay.
but
Dated it how many times now? Do it again.
but that would, even if we went the other, through a different process, you would possibly still get an annual meeting, but it would be further out too, I believe, so.
Doesn't seem as potentially fruitful. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that update. Any other questions on staff report things? All right, hearing none, I think we can talk about the annual report and fiscal year 26 recommendations. So basically I took that working document that we've been kind of drafting the last few months, took what we decided we want to kind of float to the top and then put it in this format. And this is just the same template that I used last year, so it was pretty easy to kind of plug and play, so it didn't take too much effort. It seems like there's just a few little formatting things that I can tweak on, but maybe we can just kind of go through it, and then I think there's some that it would be great to get some feedback from everyone on kind of the why, and so that way we can have that as kind of talking points during the presentation. But yeah, I think we could scroll down to the second page here. So yeah, it just starts with kind of going through the projects from the last year. So we've got Lindell Tunnel mural by Elise, dumpster murals, as well as the community collaboration that just went up, and that I think opening was just last week, I think. Yep, and then I quickly kind of go into the upcoming projects that we had we were planning on for this year, as we just talked about, which is the signal box art, as well as the bandshell mural. And then it goes into the recommendation overview. So we have quite a few quite a lot more, but I feel like they're all very tangible options. And so, yeah, I just kind of lay it all out here and then we can kind of quickly go through all of them. So we've got our downtown walking mall murals that we talked about. And I believe we landed on the location across from Brothers Tap Works, as well as the retaining wall for Rocky Mountain Development Council at Anchor Park for a teen opportunity. As well as the dumpster and recycling bin murals. I included the photos that Chelsea took for us, so thank you for getting those. As well as the Law and Justice Center community benches that we talked about, and included some photos of the campus's Primed and Ready program to help kind of paint a picture. This one, I think it could use some ideas on maybe some more, talking points about, or, just so I have more of like the, why do we want to do this thing, or why is it important kind of thing. Yeah, which I think one idea that comes to mind is just kind of bringing vibrancy to a kind of portion of downtown Helena that doesn't really have a lot of art. Is one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I think it's an important space, especially in the summer when the farmers market's down there. But also because it would add some life to that kind of really boring building.
Yeah, the proximity to the farmers market is definitely a huge draw.
And then the idea of having groups paint them is just another good gathering.
Mhm.
Community, whatever, what you call it, community pride or something.
Yeah, I thought of that too. I didn't want to call it quite a community collaboration, but it's
Right, it's, yeah, that's not quite the right word, but
community engagement.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's really helpful. Let me scroll down to the next one. And then we wanted to once again suggest going through the community collaboration application process, and we've got some great language from this for kind of picking away at this for the last few years. And so I just used that same language again. Welcome to Helena signs. I've just got like a really simple description here, and then I pulled a few photos of other towns that did design competitions for their signage that I could find.
Yeah, I can't really find a lot. When I was Googling about that,
It's hard.
It was.
It's, yeah, you kind of had to like go, yeah, I had to do a lot of Googling, but
Yeah.
the one for, I'll have to share with you guys the design, they, for, I think it's Nelson, is
Yeah,
that
it says
first one?
City of Nelson.
Yeah, really great kind of synopsis of their project. Tons of community engagement, but like it was a really well-rounded process, and like many rounds of kind of community voting and things like that. So it had it gave me a lot of great ideas for us to consider to make this even more kind of meaningful. But
Is that in BC?
it might be, or it might be a town in Washington. I'll find that link and share it with everyone to kind of go through. But yeah, I thought it was pretty fascinating. And then, yeah, I just included the two potential location photos that kind of are the kind of gateway markers into town. Any other thoughts on why on this one? Or just a couple like just talking points anyone can think of? So mine is just wayfinding, and we just really don't have a lot of opportunity for that in town. Branding of our town.
Branding, welcoming.
We also talked about this being like a not downtown central impact.
Oh, right.
Like that.
Yeah, that's citywide.
Yeah.
Community-wide. That's the first impression people get of our town.
Right.
And it'll affect the way they behave in town. If they stop, they're not gonna be excited to stop.
Drive through or stop, yeah.
You have to drive, so you have no choice. No, I think that's great. Thank you guys. And then also as just as kind of smaller points would be public art promotion. So finding some funds to be able to print the public art maps, as well as any kind of potential signage needs that might arise for, you know, placards or anything else, or, you know, marketing of each pack and promoting of public art from our standpoint, as well as public art maintenance. And so in this, I kind of mentioned that preservation plan we developed, and then just the few known maintenance needs that we've kind of talked about here this last year. Is there anything else anyone can think of for that one? I kind of, sorry. For the public art promotion or maintenance or any other.
Yeah, that'll tie into my audio tour in a minute, but I'll talk about that when we get to that point.
Cool, because we can even add that in now that we've got time. So. And so I'm thinking like the percent for art portion would that be during like the annual report section or like the recommendations section?
As a recommendation.
As a
It is a recommendation. It's just rather than it being a project or a budgetary recommendation, it's a policy recommendation.
Mm.
So, because what you're looking for is them to write a resolution to finish with great dollars.
So you would put that right on that page?
Yeah, or I think and we would probably give it its own page now, and probably have to figure out how to kind of format the letter to kind of, you know, fit that, but should have no problem doing that.
Well, if I may, rather than just having the letter, I would bullet point from the letter. Because they should have read the letter, right? So then the next slide maybe being public art maintenance, and then boom, 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 boom. This is our recommendation for a policy.
Do you know of any projects that the other cities that have done from that?
Oh,
That maybe
tons.
graphics or something like
Yeah,
that.
all
Here's
of
what was
all of
really
this
good, or here's
was. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, just really speaking to like that's how Missoula and Bozeman get their art out.
Yeah, because they like it. Right?
Come on.
They can't be not doing what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet, then I can have you scroll to that last. No, thank you. Yeah, and then I tried to just add all of those things again to just really try and let the commissioners know that we're hoping for some sort of consensus. So I think too, it's hopefully they've been through this process a little bit more too now, and so that should make things a little bit smoother. Looks great.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you, Amanda. for doing
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
That's a lot of work.
Doing stuff with my eyes closed those days.
Please don't.
Yeah.
We gave the letters.
Yeah, yeah. Totally just go for here. Anything else that we would, you know, want to add to that? But I think we've got it pretty well dialed at this point, you know, going through it this whole summer. Yeah, and now that we've got a whole nother month too, I can just add in that last page, and that should make. Yeah, because then because I think having all of your guys' eyes on the percent for art portion too would be really helpful. And that way we can just like do the little fine tuning and then send it off. Awesome. Okay, I think we can move on to the jury selection letter. And this is what Max has been working on, and I believe Ramsey helped you as well.
And this one, it seems like maybe it's unnecessary if we just modify our process. As Bridget was saying, we can do whatever we want with the process. And telling them to change something is maybe totally unnecessary. But I think going through this letter, we certainly brought up a lot of important points. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do we need to say anything or just maybe modify our process so that we can, you know, it just seems like they should be either approving or disapproving, not choosing the art themselves after we've had a lot of intelligent discussion and
time.
and time to discuss this. They kind of did a shoot from the hip, knee-jerk reaction and changed our recommendation.
So we talked about like what you just said, that it's not really up to us to try and get them to change. But so how do you get us, if we did this on our own, how does that not keep them from just changing and picking at somebody else again? Is that just, oh,
I-
I've got
I
no
think
control?
I think what one of our learning lessons was that we can provide like a write-up next time of why, we're making this selection and using, this exact language now that it's been developed, I think is gonna be huge. Because then it really will help kind of solidify like our stance and give our why, along with them being able to review the art. So that way they should hopefully have a little bit more of like a well-rounded understanding of
For
kind of our-
context.
Exactly. I think that would be really.
And are we obligated to show them all the submissions?
We thought I was having as well.
Because that seemed like they didn't need to see them.
Oh, right, like maybe we just give them the top 5 or something and then.
Yeah, or just our top recommendation. And
They
say,
can see anything.
They can say whatever they want.
Whatever they.
So yeah, commissioners can see it. So even if we didn't give it to them,
but maybe that doesn't need to be part of our presentation.
right, it'd make them have to do extra work.
Yeah.
Don't make it easy.
Well, and I don't think we should just give them one, because then they would wonder where all the rest of them are. We said these are top however many we decide.
Mhm.
Maybe they'd be less inclined to want to see them all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So let me clarify a little bit. So it's a staff report, it's a staff presentation. Then there's a recommendation from you. You guys could present your own recommendation if you'd like. And that's fine. Like I did your recommendation on your behalf, but I don't have to. You guys can do that separately. But staff is still gonna present the project to them and the process. That
So
was
we would
given.
recommend to a staff and then the staff would recommend.
No, it's a.
We would do it right.
It's a
directly to
recommendation
them.
to the commission, which is what which is exactly what the board is, right? That's what you do, is you make
Right.
recommendations.
Right.
But the commission still gets to make a decision however they want.
But we get to talk to them face to face over, about that.
Yeah.
Let me,
I think that
so,
makes a
but to
difference.
clarify. When you do a staff report, are you obligated to show them, like, let's say we have 25 examples come in? Are you obligated to show them all? Okay,
No, not necessarily.
okay,
No, it depends on the process, and this is a under 80,000. Like when we do a bid, for example, this is a boiler bid, I do have a bid tab and I have to report everybody that bid and what their bid was. And so we just try to be as transparent as possible with the commission. And we didn't expect anything from what came from them. I think the big thing, kind of an answer to what you're asking, is like, is this necessary? I don't think that the commission would most likely come down with saying, yeah, this is what we want you to do, because they're probably not gonna do that. I think what is missing, or what has been missing, is the lack of direction of what they would want. So like what wasn't a part of that whole process was knowing that they would prefer or give preference to a local artist. That wasn't information that any of us had. So
We did, though, give preference to local artists. We discussed that.
whether, either way, we didn't have that direction from them. And to me, that is more the question is do they want to give direction on, like, is that something that they would like to formally say? Is we would like preference, or would like to see more of this, but they're not going to tell us what process to use, I don't think. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to know,
What's the case by
without
case
just
basis?
asking.
but if we did the write-up, the separate write-up from your staff report or recommendation that says, we've considered location, we've considered this, we've considered that, and just like you said, make a really good consideration so that maybe maybe they'll think, yeah, they have gone through all this and we don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to us. I don't know. More information's better, right?
It's hard to, if we're jurying the applicants, And we're not aware of where they're coming from. It's really hard to say. Separate, oh, well, that looks like a Helena artist. I mean, it's either they just close it to anyone outside of Helena, or they seriously consider our recommendation based on our rationale for
Right.
choosing it. And maybe also why we didn't choose these other artists, so a little bit of education for the commission
Yeah, I think that would make.
on how you look at art, how it impacts the community or an individual.
But also that is only heard on willing ears, so we have to, you know,
Yeah,
go so
well-
far as.
If we're weaving in a potential, like a policy suggestion for the percent for art at the tail end of the fiscal year recommendations, does it make sense to also speak to this during the fiscal year 25 report to say like, we have also updated our policies so that you're better educated going into these jury processes, just to like start that education there?
I think that's smart.
Dropping hints of
Yeah.
what's to come,
Mhm.
I think that's smart too.
Add a bullet point on the.
Yeah, it's just like,
Thank you.
we're giving you a nugget as well, like we're adjusting as well, just to get it in their psyche early.
It's in there
Can you
already.
say that again so I can make sure?
I think it's like, maybe within the 25 annual report section, just say like, we have also updated some of our policies. Specifically, like how we will be
Specifically
weighing
regarding how we're
local
gonna
artists.
jury select. Jury select process.
I don't know, I think too, like if you, within the bullet or within your speech, if you talk about like, we're responding to the interest and the preference that you've already demonstrated, and so we wanted to update to make sure we're aligned with you, the commission.
Is there, so when the RFPs go out, does it say? I mean, is it open nationally? Is that the deal right now?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
open to everyone, because that was the hope, is we can actually have some talented people, you know, come in and just bring some kind of
Some hype.
some new, yeah, just something just different, you know,
Mhm.
which I would hate to kind of cut out those opportunities,
Yeah.
you know, but if it keeps kind of getting to the finish line and then, but I mean, we won't know until we kind of go through this process, and I think we have a lot more that we've learned since, that we can go into this like well better prepared. And I think we have a, you know, way better chance of kind of making our point heard.
It's our responsibility as one of the only entities that can bring outside art to Helena to make sure that that remains part of our brand.
Yeah, it's still a, you know,
Part of Helena's
opportunity.
brand, yeah.
Yeah, we wanna be inclusive, we don't wanna be like, only, you know, cause that is kind of a theme, so for, you know, for some people, like,
Yeah.
stay out, you know, we're full, blah, 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 so it's like, no, we want.
Yeah.
To not have that be like what we're known for, let's have like people want to come
And it
here.
elevates our local artists.
Yeah, I
It
think
doesn't
so too.
push them out
Yeah.
by having
More is more,
bigger
yeah.
things happening, yeah.
Yeah.
More is more, yeah, like that.
So with this letter, yeah, so thank you for putting this letter together. I know it, you know, took some time. But maybe we'll just kind of have it saved in our Dropbox
Yeah.
for when we do get to that, you know, point of a jury selection
I
again.
think it caused us to think about it
Absolutely.
and
Help articulate.
articulate our process and come up with some ideas, yeah.
Well, I have a question about it, is, so basically for these next, well, for the band mural, for example. Do you guys want this point system added into the jury? That we're gonna do on that mural? Cause that, the RFP I'll be working on before the next meetings.
Is that for the band shell?
Yeah, I'd be really interested to hear everyone's thoughts on this before I. It's a tricky one.
My 2 cents is only because that's what the commission wants. Or seem to want.
I think a lot of Helenans want to see that too. They want to see a local artist. I think we shouldn't close it off to just local artists, for sure. But I think a lot of Helenans, like that was a, Paige even made the comment right afterwards, oh, they're from California, and people aren't gonna like that. Whether it's right or wrong,
But
I think a
and
lot of people
without
feel that.
seeing it, without even seeing it, people
Mhm.
just make that snap judgment, and that's what bothers me, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's right, but I think.
The only way we can change things though is if we push for change, so, you know.
That's
we gotta
true.
Start somewhere.
It could be nebulous, like preference maybe given to local artists or something. I don't know.
So
if
I like the
that's-
point system.
I like it too. I think it would
Me
be
too.
good for the public to see that we're giving.
I think
preference
it
to
makes
local
it, yeah,
artists, too.
more transparent, you know, and so it doesn't seem like, you know, we're not giving.
Yeah, so if there is a Californian chosen.
Right.
Then the
The
public.
art was really good.
Yeah.
A good competitor this.
It represents Helena.
Yeah, I wonder if that point system, if, you know, if it was outlined in the RFP, would that kind of be a detriment to people, artists who are from out of state?
If I saw that and I was from out of state, I would immediately think, I don't have a chance.
Yeah, but it's just like, they don't even want me.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thought that comes to
Yeah.
mind.
Cause I'm
What
like,
do you think
and no matter what, anybody above me has all these points, you know, just out the get.
What's the typical like total point?
It's like mid-20s.
Yeah,
So I mean, this is potentially 20%, like, I don't know that would deter. I don't know, I suppose it also like would be the judgment call of like whether or not you wanna invest that money.
is the total amount, is 30, right? If you did perfect on all of it, so
think it was.
maybe if it says 3 points and 1 point out of a maximum of 30, then it doesn't sound so like preferential.
So some of them have a different number of questions based on what we're asking for.
That's
Like one of them had an additional line item because it needed to be relevant to the location. I don't remember. It was, one of them had more, just remember that.
Mhm.
So what about a percentage rather than numbers? Like,
Right.
Yeah,
you
because
get an
then-
extra 5% of the total. So if it's like 30, you get 5% of that, or 10% or whatever number. you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah,
would
that
be
would
comfortable
make more
with.
sense.
Percentage would be
Yeah.
better.
So
Doesn't matter.
the 10% would be the Helena one and the whatever, if it was 30, so that's 10%.
Do you think we really need to like do the number 2, the specifying counties? Is that big for people, like making sure that they're like close in the counties, or should we, or is it just for a Montana
Just be
resident?
this Montana.
Yeah,
Just wondering.
regional.
Maybe makes it a little simplified.
Just makes it simple, especially if we're gonna do a
Yeah.
percentage, you know?
And I think it's also important to remember that this point system alone isn't what determines, you know, this is just what kind of gets us our, say, top 3, top 5. And then from there, we kind of are able to have the discussion.
Right, that's why I think it's important to just mention that it's not a lot of the percentage. Just so we don't discourage, like you said.
I would just hope that, you know, it's like the thought with the scoring process is, you know, trying to find, you know, the right art for the location. It's like, does this art represent the community? Does this art represent Helena? You know, and like that in itself should have, you know, I see that as being the guiding force more than, you know, where you're from.
Or this artist was
Necessarily.
born or lives, yeah.
So did
We could
that
put on
help you
there,
for
you
your RFP?
No, I think maybe we have to kind of come to, you know,
Yeah,
some
we
sort
could
of
come to a
conclusion.
conclusion. But yeah, we could put on there, you know, something about like, you know, that it's a weighted percent or something, that it's, you know, whatever percent we decide it goes to, you know, a local resident, but, and then put in there too, like, this isn't gonna deter, you know, I don't know, like maybe somehow we can figure out how to word that. If we even need to, I mean, maybe look at some other state or
Could there
other
be a
city ones.
second sentence? Okay, so second, let's see, above the like sign off. Sentence number 1 and sentence number 2, like between the sentence beginning, these bonus points will be applied. Does it make sense to add another sentence there saying in an effort not in an effort to prevent chilling outside interest, these points may be adjusted so as not to cumulatively be more than 10% of the overall.
Exactly.
That-
Like that's what I was trying to say, exactly. So like, so then it lets people know
Yeah.
that, you know, just because this is in there, it doesn't, it's not going to, cause like now that it's been explained better, that it's not gonna be as much. You know, if I was an artist, I would be like, okay, well, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
I should take the time to, you know, put together a proposal and stuff, so.
I'd say maybe something like maximum 10% will be given for this, because I'm writing a grant at work right now and there's something that I can't even address and it's worth 5%. And it's like, if you can't address it, you just don't get that 5%, right? So there's nothing wrong with just doing that.
Up to 10% weight, extra weight given to Montana residents.
Yeah.
I don't know, even just hearing that, I don't know, I feel like I would get stuck in the weeds with that as an outside artist.
So I was like
it would
thinking
be
like,
very
like
detrimental.
putting it wording it the right way is important.
Maybe, I mean, perhaps maybe like in the scoring rubric, because I know that's like a section where, you know, we say, and like maybe that's where it could be included and then it shows what point, you know.
Yes.
And like, instead of then trying to, you know, explain it in the weeds, it's
Right.
just kind of shown in a very,
I think.
Yeah, I think it can
Succinct
be
way.
put that way, but coming up with that point number, that's what I guess I'm asking you is, do you want it to be 5%? Do you want it to be 10%? Because if I have
Yeah.
6 questions versus 4 or 5, if it's just this solid number, it's gonna be weighted differently. So I want it to be the same weighting
totally.
for each time we do this.
I would say 5 for Montana and 10 for Helena. 10%. Or we could even go lower if we don't want to. Just as a showing that we're trying to at least hear what the commission's saying and make it like 2%, 4% or something. We just need to pick a couple numbers.
10.
I don't know, I'm honestly just not,
Pick a number and hand it.
I want.
I'm having
I'm trying
decision
to, like,
paralysis
keep
as
my
well.
opinion to myself because I feel like I'm the outlier here. I feel like I'm a nay on this one entirely. And
So
I think
how
this-
would you bring it in then?
I just wouldn't. I think I would just have
Scrap
at least.
I agree with you. I mean, if we,
I think we have the institutional knowledge now that, you know, we, you know, really need to go over this with a microscope, you know, and really think of this as like, you know, does this seem like Helena art, you know, and like really think of this from an all, like, what's, you know, some angry guy on the IR gonna feel, what's, you know, this person gonna feel, you know, what are all of these, and kind of try and go about it in a slightly more nuanced way, you know, that, you know, of just our own kind of through our own process. But I also don't want to sway the committee if that's the kind of direction everyone would go. I think that would be totally reasonable. But yeah, it's just hard to. I just would hate to kind of make this more messy than it needs to be.
It sounds like it's detrimental to make it public when this is a conversation so far between us and the city.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
If we want good applicants, we don't want to scare them off.
Yeah.
So is there a way, I mean, with any normal like job description, you'd have like the DEI statement, right? That like we highly encourage these folks to apply because traditionally, like statistically, they don't. Is it possible to keep this internal with a percentage for I would just think like 5% for Montana residency, a potential bonus 5% for somebody local, if that's what the commission responds to. But in the RFP, can we have like some boilerplate language that says like the committee and the commission may prioritize local residents? But we still encourage people to apply because there's other categories on which we'll be weighing this. Like, so there's like the public and the private aspect of this.
Can I add something? So you guys talked about putting in a recommendation with staff report. Wouldn't it just be beneficial? Like percentages aside, that can still happen, whatever, obviously that's up to you guys to recommend. but even just going over your thought process in depth in a way that you haven't in the past, wouldn't that give the same weight as a percentage?
I would hope so, yeah. Yeah. the way
Right,
we
because once we
consider
publish
it.
this and make this public, it's kind of, you can't go back, so
Mhm.
it's almost like you said, kind of. Do we do we need to?
And perhaps maybe when we're going through selections, if we could internally know, it's like this one's a Helena, this one's Montana, and then we can use that in our own, as our own context through the scoring process, to then know that they do have, the context, related to place and community.
Yeah, I think we keep this private. This is for our reference, maybe.
You could do the scoring blind like you do now, and then when you get your top, how many top you decide to take out of, like, let's say we have 20 again, and you decide to pick the top 5 to really talk about after you've scored them. Maybe at that point, then we say, okay, these 2 out of those 5 are Montana, these aren't, and that's just a part of the whole discussion. And then we
Then
could
they
say,
could get the points.
right, well, the
afterwards.
points don't really.
Or the points don't really matter, right, but at
Right.
least we know that.
We have the context.
Yeah. But
Right.
still, it wasn't before we looked and made our like choices of our,
Right.
finalists. I
Because
think
then
that's
if
a
you
really
pick out of
smart.
those top ones, if you do pick an out-of-state artist, you have that piece of the argument to still kind of add in there too, as to why. Like, we did look at this, but this is why we are choosing this one.
Yeah, I
So it
think
comes back to our explanation that we talked about earlier, just
Absolutely.
more information's better.
Yeah.
More clarity. Feel like 12 angry men.
discussion now, it's like, I feel like, unless we had so many of these discussions, like, we would, still just be, what do we do,
The next time we would know what to do.
Yeah. Do you have kind of what you need, kind of?
I mean, if
Just
that's
keep it
what
the
we're gonna
same.
do, like we just talked about,
Yeah,
like
just
just,
shred
we'll
this letter.
reveal after the numbers,
Mhm.
and then you guys pick your top whatever, then we'll say, okay, this one's this, and this is that.
Then we can find out their location. I
Yeah.
think that's perfect.
Okay, then we don't have to change it.
Yeah. As long as we can communicate to the city that we did include this in our thought process.
Right.
And
You
and
really,
this is why we didn't choose this one.
totally.
What about the statement, local artists are encouraged to apply somewhat to your,
Yeah, like, does that need to be disclosed in the RFP if there's a chance that may sway us individually or collectively?
I mean, I think it's okay to just kind of like you mentioned, like in a employee application. Yeah, preferential treatment may be given to this and this.
I think that would be safe.
Yeah,
that's safe.
It's safer and broader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
well,
that.
yeah, and then the public does see that we've said it, or the commission at least.
Yeah.
They're encouraged, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. That's good, that sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you guys for such a great discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need a ruling on it or anything like that, or is it good at this level?
I don't think so, as long as you guys don't.
We just can take it off the agenda.
But yeah, I think keeping that in our Dropbox though for sure is gonna be super helpful.
Sure.
Awesome. Well then, all right, you're up next again. Max.
Okay.
Totally.
The audio tour is a little pet project of mine, and some of you are new and haven't heard about this because we haven't done anything with it, but I finally started on it. With the Chip Clausen art opening, I mic'd him up and put a little recording device in his pocket, and we recorded the whole thing, including, I thought he was gonna start earlier, so there's actually about 40 minutes of Chip saying, "Hi, nice to see you." Before I finally went to it. And that's been fun to parse through. But the ultimate idea is to get a little bit of audio so we can have an audio tour of the public art in Helena, beginning with the walking tour that Amanda's put up for downtown. I think it would be super cool to have a QR code sticker at all of these things. So when you come up on the Bullwhacker, you can go, oh, what's this? And listen in your headphones to someone from the Historical Society, maybe talk about it.
So cool.
This is a huge project, but it's not really, it's kind of evergreen. There's no real time sensitive things. And so I was thinking maybe I could just start doing this. And if anybody has a friend who's a local artist, or look down the database or our spreadsheet of all the local art, and if there's somebody you know, we could maybe make a little list of questions, the who, what, where, why, when, and maybe an interesting anecdote to get little 3 or 4 minutes of audio from everybody that's relevant. I've got 2 little recording devices with lapel mics. If anybody wants to jump in and help fill in the gaps on these, I will lend you it. And all you have to do is turn it on, it starts recording, and then turn it off when you're done. Give it back to me, I'll edit the audio and put it together.
I'm sure I can help you.
Cool.
And then I could probably add that as part of like the promotions portion of the annual report too, just to
Yeah.
kind of mention that it's going on, and it's something that's in development. If you're cool with
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think people will be excited about it. Every artist that I've talked to about it so far is, oh my gosh, Chip especially was over the moon.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we're gonna schedule a date to go do the piece in behind the library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just love that, you know, it just makes it so much more accessible to every, you know, and especially to people that are just happening upon a piece of art and don't have the walking tour, the brochure, or any, you know, context, anything
yeah,
around
it's
it.
another way in.
I think it just shows too, like, moving forward in the city, like having things like that. And like, I was even like, right when you were talking, because we were talking about it at Chip's thing, and I was even thinking like, that's how my brain works. But I'm like, oh, I can see it now. Like, there's an app, like with your map on there, and like all the thing, all the audios, and like, I mean, how hard is it to build an app? Who's technical? Like, all this like really cool stuff. Like, there's a lot that can be in the future, I think.
Well, even Visit Helena, their new app, that
Oh, they have.
I think, I don't know if it's out, but they had given me the beta version last year. But it was basically where if you like, it's connected to Google Maps and you walk around, and once you're close to an historical property, Ellen Baumler starts speaking about
Oh,
the
cool.
historic
See, like,
property
something
from
like
the
that would be so cool.
And so especially if somehow like some art could be like a whole section of it too, that like those could be, incorporated, and like the reach for this could just be insane.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, could be really cool. So, I love this little brainchild of yours. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it'll come
So,
together. So yeah, if anybody feels like doing that, reach out to me and
Yeah.
I'll deliver you the little recording device. Maybe next time I'll have a list of everything people could sign up if you see one that you want to do to.
Like one that
Put it on
like an
the-
artist,
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Totally. I can give you the spreadsheet of all of them I have, and then you can like simplify that and use that as a checklist, if that's helpful.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I think, is that in the Dropbox?
It should be. I'll triple check. Cool.
Mhm.
Let's see, so public art event and promotion opportunities. Anything going on? It's kind of quiet now that summer's finally dying down, thank God. There's a lot going on. The pigeon scavenger hunt is winding down as pigeons get stolen and blown off the windowsill.
Yeah, I was talking about
Yeah,
that.
right.
I was supposed to get a pigeon and I kind of spaced
I
it
meant to
out.
bring one for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do I do with it?
Put it wherever you want.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to with it. I have about 6
I
throughout my house.
don't understand the whole thing, so I'm just like, I'll just donate, give me a pigeon, fine.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of them we end up having where if you paid, $30, you received a pigeon, and then basically that was kind of covering our expenses of the scavenger hunt.
And are they already painted?
I could paint one for you, but they come blank to kind of, because people wanted to kind of paint them to match their houses and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we've almost recouped all of our funds for the supplies.
I just wrote that down so I wouldn't forget to ask. Pigeon.
Totally, I live just a couple blocks from here, and we can
Okay,
swing by and grab it.
okay.
I think I found most of them. I mean, it took.
Yeah, you did, and we ended up having three folks who were able to finish all of them.
That was cool.
Yeah, but yeah, since some have gone missing and MIA, and the one on the bus stop gets messed with quite a lot, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But they will persevere.
I haven't even noticed them. Pay attention.
But yeah, fall art walk, does anyone know when that is coming up?
It's in November.
Okay, November, so we'll have
Yeah.
another couple meetings, shot, or we can always discuss if there's any
I help
promotion
out a lot,
opportunities.
well, not a lot, but like I helped, like put all the like flyers together, all the bags and stuff over there with those guys over at Omerta, so, but yeah. It's, and then I was asking her something about your, she were talking about the brochure before and the art summer, I can't remember. It'll come to me if it does, I'll message you, but. Yeah, I think it's November. Let me just double check.
That sounds right, yeah. It'd just be good to get that in there.
Yeah, November 8th. So,
Alright, cool. Yeah, so we'll have
Um,
another meeting if we wanted to discuss if there was anything in the
Yeah.
group if we wanted to do or. And then items for next agenda. Let's see, we'll talk about that draft annual report recommendations one more time, a few adjustments we made. And then also we'll be going over the Van Hill RFP draft. And we could probably also talk about the light capsules presentation at our next meeting. It was just a light artist that wanted to kind of share with everyone and get some ideas for some new ways to kind of remake Ghost Art and highlight history. Is there anything else anyone can think of that they'd maybe like added to the next month's agenda? And they could definitely reach out to me in the next week or two if that's something. And I'll start to try and get agenda and meeting minutes to you guys even a week earlier, if that's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we need to get Jeannie to start doing it.
Yeah.
So I've been reaching out because I thought they were gonna do some sort of training, but the other boards that I've talked to that have actually launched it after we did. All they did was like make sure that you get the stuff and there's a template and you just do it.
Okay.
So Emily's gonna make sure that you can get the information, like the recording from this meeting and the template for the minutes.
Yeah.
And then as far as the agenda, you just send it to Jeannie. And then for anything I have from staff, would also just send it to you. And then when the agenda's done, you have to send it to Emily to get on the website. So we can talk, I can send
Yeah,
an email.
and
to
you and I
stuff.
can get together too. And step by step.
Yeah, I think I'll kind of move my timelines up a bit to just give, you more time and you guys more time, so that way we won't be kind of
Yeah,
feel like we
Emily
rushed
needs
moving
it
forward.
by the, we used to say the Wednesday before, a week before, but at the latest, the Friday before.
Mhm.
Because it has to be posted at least 48 hours, which is on Monday. Sometimes that's hard.
Yeah,
Like I was out,
She was
This
actually
past
out
Monday.
on Monday.
so everything was fairly stressy.
thank you guys for all your help. Any other kind of public comment or any other thoughts before we adjourn?
Everybody online.
Okay, I'll move that we end the meeting.
I second that motion.
Great, meeting's been ended, thanks guys.
All right.
That one's from everybody.
Oh, I bet.
I'm hoping the Weinstein, because we felt on